So we're going to start with pencil, like always, and sketch out this nice elephant head. We're going to start with the ear, which has this great big shallow curve.
Wait.
Wait,
started.
I haven't even done anything.
They must be getting their paper.
That's right, must be looking for that cardstock.
What? Too fast.
Well, I'll stop at this one line. You can see it takes up about half of the width of my paper here. If you're working on, a bigger piece of paper, obviously it won't, but it's a pretty big ear, so don't be shy. I would guesstimate that that's maybe 3.5, 4 inches long.
So, Aaron, last time when we did a cockatoo, he had such a good idea.
You did.
But I stole it.
Oh, did you want to share while we're waiting for people to get ready? Hey, look at that. Super cool. Filling up that white space with
That's
silhouettes.
Now Aaron used leaves and said, why can't we have more things outside? I thought, he's right.
That's a good idea. That's
he's
right.
Thank you, Aaron. You're not even here today to hear that, so thank you.
Next, we're going to come down this ear and we're going to ignore these little wiggles at first. We're just going to look at the big shape, which is another big curve. So we're going to come down here so lightly because we know we're going to change this line later. Ooh, sounds like stuff going on at Fusie's house. I'm going to mute you for a second, Fusie, and you can always unmute yourself if you have a question.
Thank you.
And we've got this little turn right at the bottom of the earlobe. I'm getting another notice to wait, please.
I shut the door.
Oh, okay, excellent. I will do our customary 30-second wait.
It's kind of light.
The drawing?
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys keep drawing the light. I'll darken this up so you can see it a little better. The darker you draw, the harder it is to erase, and we are going to erase this later, but you will need to see. So I will darken up mine, keep yours light. There's the end of our wait. So now let's go ahead and make this ear a little more interesting with a little S curve happening here. We call them S curves when they curve one way and then curve the other way. So we're going to start with that little curve in and then a big curve out. Tracy, I'll give you 3 times that you can pause the class, but we can't have everybody waiting for you. That's a little bit impolite. So if you want to use your second wait, I will put on another timer for a 30-second wait.
Right now, wait.
Well, I'm not saying you're impolite. I'm saying that to make everybody stop because you need a little bit more time, that's putting the need of one before the need of many. I'm sure in your regular school classes, you can't tell your teacher, just stop. So we're going to take another tiny little notch. Just a tiny one. And don't forget, we are putting the videos up. So even if you miss something, it will be up later for you to go back and adjust or try again. I personally like trying again on the back side of the paper.
Picture and picture.
哈？
Picture in picture.
哦，裡面有個
Next, we're going to work on the head a little bit, just a little straight line. Oh, if you're having some technical issues, Tracy, maybe share a computer with Natalie. I know when my sister and I both try to do Zoom on our computers, our internet gets pretty slow. Sometimes we have to share a screen. Then we're going to start coming down, sloping down. And we're going to start curving around to make this trunk. You can see my fingers are way back on the end of my pencil. That makes it a lot easier to just wiggle my fingers a little bit and my pencil goes really far. If you're holding way down at the tip and you try to do a big curve, it's harder. So use your long grip on your pencil and it will be a lot easier.
You're kind of going too fast.
Oh, we have another request to wait, so I will put on our 30-second wait.
All done.
Great, then we'll keep going with the trunk. You can see it's starting to curve back, but it's not a great big smooth curve like when we draw hair. This one's got kind of like sections of the trunk going around. So we're gonna do this next little section. Again, I'm drawing dark so that you can see it on the screen, but your drawing should be very, very light because you're going to erase this later. It'll be easier for you if you keep your pencil marks light. We're going to jump back up to the ear and start carving out this tusk. So we have a short little line going forward. And we've got kind of like an upside down shark fin. You want to use your second weight, Tracy. I can put on your second weight. And then we're going to make this part of the trunk, and you can see there's only a tiny little white space between the tusk and the trunk, just that tiny, tiny little white space. If your trunk is looking too skinny, you can either move this line forward and make it thicker, or you can move the tusk back. Those are pretty much your only two options to get that trunk looking as thick as you want it. I think I'm going to go ahead and make this line go a little bit more forward. That's why we start out with pencil, to get this outline right. And you can see on this inside shape, we're going down again, just like we did on the outside where we went down. Shorter distance, shorter line. Then what happens? We had another short line going to the back, short line going up. And it's really, really difficult to see, but there's another tiny, tiny little line that's going in a little bit different direction, a little bit that way. I can zoom in so that it's easier to see. And we've got the end of the trunk. You can make that a curving line if you want to. And we'll go all the way back around to connect it up into a trunk. We're going to be outlining this next, so this is your last chance to clean up and change anything you don't like about your elephant head. If you think the tusks are too short, or if you think your ears are too small, this would be the time to change it before we outline it in ink. Tracy asks, why did you name the Zoom picture in a picture? Because this is our first picture, an elephant head. But then inside the elephant head, we have this another picture of the jungle. So we've got a picture in a picture.
Look like nature.
Absolutely looks like nature.
Oh, Tracy said, oh,
Oh,
really long and a ton of H.
Makes sense. So I'm using a stick marker. If you have a Crayola marker, that's great. If you have just a skinny marker, that's okay too. I usually use this big Sharpie marker just so that you guys can see it on the screen very easily. You don't have to go as fast as me. I'm just going to show you what it looks like when it's all done, and then wait here for you guys to go ahead and do yours. One nice thing, anywhere that it's all black, if you mess up, you can just go ahead and add a little more to your line or a little more down over here, and it's going to be all filled with black anyway, so nobody will know. Just about one more minute for our outlines, and then we're going to start filling in this elephant head. In this demo piece, I used a gray marker. If you happen to have a gray marker, now would be a great time to go get it. If you don't have a gray marker, you can just use your pencil, and that can make a gray color too, of course.
Slightly draw using a pencil, then it makes a light, very light gray.
Absolutely. If you want to sketch out in pencil first, that's fine. Or if you want to go straight to pen,
No,
that's
like
fine too.
Don't look at my snack. Close it.
Oh, snack time and drawing time in one. I like it.
Oh, I closed it.
That's all right too. I'm going to decide how much of my elephant head is going to be black. You can see it goes up on the trunk there and then kind of comes down and then goes all the way across, squiggling to the ear. You don't have to do it exactly like mine. This is the jungle, and jungles are definitely not all exactly the same. So you can make little bumps and lumps and rocks right across your elephant head. And that's going to be completely filled in with black. But I'm not going to show you that part because you can do that on your own, easy peasy. We're going to move on to the trunk of a palm tree that's right on the edge of the elephant's ear. Again, you can sketch that with pencil first, or you can go straight to marker. I'm going to begin just like if I were making a regular tree that didn't have bumpy bark. I would just pick how thick I want it, and it gets a little bit thicker as it gets to the bottom.
Pause a little bit.
Pause a little bit? All right. Let's put up that 30-second timer.
Again.
To add some texture to that tree, I'm going to take my pen and just go bump, 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 all the way up, just like when sometimes we draw the ocean and we draw all those waves, a little bit like that. I'm going to zoom in a little closer on the other side so you can see exactly what I'm doing.
So giant.
I know, right? So close up. So I've got my pen and I'm just going bump, 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 with these little spikes pointing a little bit upward. That's going to be completely filled in with black too. But that's easy, you can do that on your own. Oh, we have another request to wait. Last one from Tracy. Oh no, not the last one? We'll go ahead then. We're going to make, oh wait, no wait, okay. Then we'll put on our 30-second timer for the final time for Tracy.
Tracy keep on saying wait. And I gotta sharpen my pencil.
Now's a good time to do it.
Gotta find the trash can.
Hey, Stephanie, B, you made it.
Hi.
Hi.
Oh yeah.
Next, we are going to draw this limb that has fallen down onto our rocks. You can sketch it out with pencil first. If you're not very confident, that's okay. Or you can just go for it with your pen. So I know it has to touch a rock, so I'm going to start with a branch that's touching this rock.
Double Tracy's.
And then we'll connect it with a great big line going right to the other side of the elephant. And we're going to make this look more like a branch by making it skinnier at this end. So I'm just going to thicken it up a little bit. And we'll make it thicker as it goes to the other side of the elephant's head. Another branch is poking out and touching the other rock. So from my tree that's fallen over here, I'm going to have another branch come out.
It looks like a bird's feet.
A little bit, doesn't it?
Kind of.
And we'll do the same thing where we're just thicken it up a little bit where it joins the trunk and a little thinner at the end. And if you want to, you can even add another little squiggly branch coming right off the end there. Next, we're going to do this little curling vine with the leaves. So I'm going to grab a thinner pen. I have to be careful though, because this one smears. And draw a little line wiggling from one rock to another, or just from a place that's lower on your paper to a place that's higher on your paper. And then I'll add a little leaf shape. One on each side. And they'll get a little bit smaller as they go up the vine. I'm sorry, Tracy, you used up your 3 times already. Which video isn't working? I'll ask my sister to look into it. Or the video right now. Are you having troubles too, Natalie? Is your Wi-Fi weak? Oh, well then there you go, Tracy. Just watch off of Natalie's screen. The recording is as long as the class, so it's usually 1 hour, and then it's supposed to post to YouTube within, I think, an hour. This is the first time we're trying it, so we'll see how it works. Next, let's draw this little fern over here. This one's easy too. We're first going to just draw the vertical line growing up. And you can put a few of them, different heights, different wiggliness, curving in different ways. we're going to use that skinny marker to make little lines diagonal on that stem on one side, shorter at the top, longer at the bottom, and on the other side, almost like drawing a feather. Don't worry too much about the part that crosses that line. Remember, this is all going to be black eventually. This too. This is all going to be filled in. So I don't have to worry anything about anything that passes this line. Don't worry if the lines overlap. That's what gives it neat texture. Glad to hear it, Tracy. Hopefully your video stays nice and up to date. And it's not blurry. All right. Next, we're going to move on to that jaguar that's crawling through the jungle. Again, if you want to use your pencil first, you think you might mess up, use that pencil so you can erase it. Whoops, I will too, just so that you'll feel comfortable doing it.
Gotta sharpen my pencil again.
Yep, that's why I have about 3 or 4 pencils all sharpened and ready. So for our jaguar, we're going to start over here and we're going to make this little negative shape. Negative meaning it's not actually part of the jaguar, it's the space in between. So when I'm looking at that space, I kind of get the feeling of the letter R.
Oh, yeah.
I get straight on one side, curving it around into kind of a funny looking R. And that's going to help make that line of the back leg and also the line of the tail. And that tail is going to keep on going through that branch. You can have it come down and touch your other line if you want, depending on how long you want your tail to be. Coming back up. Into something like that.
不用的，不用。
We've got another little shape, another little skinny piece in between these two back legs. So right next to my letter R, I'm going to pick how thick I want this back leg to be, and then just make a skinny little shape.
Can you please wait on me?
We've got a request to wait. I'll put on my 30-second timer. This next part of the leg also looks a little bit like the front of the letter R. So there's that straight part of the leg and a little bump. When you're drawing the backside of this Jaguar, look how it raises up. It doesn't go straight across. We've got this little rising up in the hindquarters as it's balancing on this limb, and then comes sloping forward. We can go back to our negative space and take a look at this funny little shape, having a straight line on top, straight line coming down a little bit, and then forward. So that's 3 lines straight across the tummy, down a little bit, and then forward a little bit. And we have yet another tiny little piece of negative space right in between the 2 front legs. So I'm going to look at where my tummy line is. You can even extend it forward if you want to, because they should line up, and make this tiny little triangle that's going to be in between the 2 front legs. This front leg you might have stepping down on the branch. You might be able to reach the rock, or you can just keep it on the same branch. That's up to you, but I'm going to go ahead and sketch out a leg that's going to be touching down on my bottom branch. And even if you're drawing in pen, go ahead and connect the back of the Jaguar to that front leg. It's going to be headless for a second, but that helps us place that little bump for the shoulder blade in the proper area. And it's going to be filled in black later anyway, so nobody will see this line where your Jaguar once had no head. So I'm going to go a little bit below there and add a neck. And this neck is going to be pretty short and chunky. I'm just looking at this bottom part of the neck here. I know on top it looks pretty long, but on the bottom here it's just short. So I'm going to keep it short. We're going to come down into a muzzle area. A little reverse curve on the nose. And that neck and head are all pretty much level. So from the top of that neck, I'm just going to smooth it out into the head. Last thing to add, 2 little ears. If you're starting with pencil, it's better to start small because once you outline, it just gets bigger and bigger and thicker even when you don't need it to. Tracy's absolutely right. Today at 5 o'clock is The Secret Lives of Cats.
Oh, that's good to know.
We're going to do a little slumber party of cats. Once you've gotten your Jaguar, we're just going to fill it in. Go ahead and go to the restroom, Tracy. We're just going to be filling in our shapes with black. Easy to do that on your own. Careful of those little negative spaces, those little cutouts. Turn your paper to wherever it's easiest to make these lines. If you have a wedge tip marker, use that broad side to fill it in really quickly. And just be a little bit more careful near the edges.
So I am going to find a black marker right now.
Go for it.
But I found a black crayon instead.
Oh, that'll work. You could even just use a pencil and press more
Very
firmly.
hard.
Yeah, where you want it dark and then a little lighter when we do our second layer of jungle. We just have a few more plants to do in black. I'm going to grab my Sharpie and start with this young little palm tree that's coming right behind our Jaguar. So right from the ground area, I'm going to go straight up. Don't worry if you go through your Jaguar, that's okay. We'll make it a little thicker as it goes to the bottom. And these leaves are going to be very similar to the ones that we did on the ferns, except we're only going to do it on one side. So if I have a big line coming out here for one leaf, I'm only going to do one side and have those pieces coming off and drooping down. Another one going the other way. And then maybe one more if you can fit it going right behind the tail. And you just draw right over the black part that you've already colored in. You don't have to be careful. You can go right over the top and it's all black anyway, so it won't show up that much. And then we have a few more plants down here that are pretty much the same as this one. They're just bigger. So I'll have that line going upward, a little thicker at the bottom. And I'll start making these pairs of leaves. You can do whatever kind of leaves you want. This time I'm doing a little more upward. And this one I did a little more droopy. Whichever one you like best, try it out on your drawing. And don't be afraid if they bump into one another. That is okay. We like overlapping.
Shoot. I made the palm tree into one of those vines. Darn it.
Oh, that's all right. You just got more vines
let's see
growing
how-
on your, yeah, more vines growing up your palm
Let's
tree.
see how I can fix that. Maybe the palm tree can come out this way. There we go. Make it
Absolutely.
look a little odd, but
Now we just have the gray part to do. If you have that gray marker, whip it out. If you don't, we'll just use a pencil.
Show us your marker, what you have as a gray marker.
Gotta go find one again.
I happen to have some gray highlighters, and I
Oh.
also have, I think, a gray Tombow marker. Well, I had it. If you have a gray colored pencil, that will work.
Oh, yeah.
Prismacolor grays. Pretty sure I have a Crayola marker gray. So if you have a gray marker, excellent. If you have a pencil, excellent. Whew, we're almost done with class time, so I'm going to show you fairly quickly that we're just going to start coloring in these big trees, all these big bushes in back. There's not a whole lot of shape to it. They're just filling up and dividing up the white space. So I'm just going to color real fast.
Go get a gray marker, huh?
Yep, gray marker.
Yes.
When you're coloring big areas, remember to get back on your pencil so that you can just do a little bit of a wiggle and your pencil will move really far. Tracy will be going to the next class at 5 o'clock after everybody shares their elephant drawing.
I cannot find the gray, so I'm going to use my pencil.
Excellent, so am I. Down by the jaguar's head, I'm just going to make these big grassy shapes. Fill that all in. Yep, that's the right one, Tracy. We're going to be doing the Secret World of Cats on the 21st, because today is the 21st. Filling in that background, all the grass. Some videos don't work on the update page. I will take a look at that after Secret Life of Cats and see if I can find the ones you're talking about.
Ooh, that's
You can see another little tree back here. Has a little bit more like a regular tree, not a palm tree. So I'm just going to sketch out some branches and a trunk that gets thicker as it goes down into the grass, thinner as it comes up into the air. Some branches branching off. The secret to good tree branches is not to make them even. For instance, if I try to draw a tree like this, doesn't really look as much like a tree as if I do this and make them all uneven. So if you want trees that look like trees, make them different. After you have some branches, you're just gonna swirl your pencil or marker around a little bit, make big blobs of leaves, going for the big shapes. We're not gonna do the individual shapes of leaves unless you want one like falling off a tree. You can put a little guy there, fell off the tree. On this side, I put a couple of vines coming down, just little squiggly lines, wiggle.
I'm not gonna draw them anyway.
What was that, Lucy?
I'm not gonna draw those anyway.
Oh, you're not gonna draw those? That's fine. You can do whatever you like. Maybe you want to do clouds instead.
Ooh.
Have some birds flying in the sky. I'm gonna do another kind of crazy palm back here. Sending leaves all kinds of ways.
My elephant is too small.
A little too small? Well, now you'll know next time to make it a little bit bigger. Try and try again.
How about the giant? Really giant.
I tried to fill up my paper. I had a little bit extra on my paper today. A little bit extra. I could have made that ear go even further back. Don't
Got
forget to
right.
sign your work. For 21-21.
Gotta write my name big, very giant.
So everybody knows who drew it, huh? All right, already 4:58. If you're ready to show your drawing, go ahead and hold
Excuse
it
me.
up and I'll spotlight for everybody.
Almost.
Almost. For 59.
Eh,
Okay, done.
All right, let's see
Let's see.
Stephanie's.
Who even came in late? So unfair. Oh my
Woo!
gosh, you finished.
Wow.
You had your
I love
starters
it. It's
ahead.
fun, Betsy. Thank
I
you.
love
You're
it.
welcome.
That is awesome.
That looks great. Let's see Callista's.
Look at that.
Whoa.
Wow.
Her
Put a
name
name
in
in it. I like that.
Beautiful. I put my name for fun right here.
That
I
looks
like
pretty
it.
great. I like it.
I'm so slow.
That's okay. We'll have the videos and a lot of it's just filling it in
Oh,
black.
I like the shape.
It's gonna be
Look, it
great.
took up the whole page. It's nice. Yes.
They're getting good at filling up that whole page. How about you, Fusi? Are you ready?
Almost.
Almost.
I'll show you mine.
Mama,
It's not done, but here it is.
Okay, let's see Kristen's that's not done. Woo!
Oh,
All I
here
gotta
it
do is
is.
fill in the black though.
Wow.
good.
More
That's
black
looking
there.
good.
Wow.
Pretty good.
Oh, I like your tree, Kristen. That tree
I
is
like that
cool.
background stuff. That was fun.
I
Yeah.
didn't do that.
Anybody else before we go and head over to Secret Lives of Cats class?
I'm done.
All
There
right.
we go.
Whoops, let me spotlight for everybody. Woo! I can see it. Your Jaguar crawling through the jungle.
No, I'm taking my
Nice job. Looks like Tracy's ready.
Ooh, that's
Ooh.
It's so tiny.
Looking good though. And I think the last one, Mickey, Natalie, anything to show?
No.
I'll put up Natalie's. Ooh,
Ooh.
looking great, guys. Good job.
Wet.
I'm gonna go ahead and end the class then, and I'll see some of you in Secret Lives of Cats. Thank you. Goodbye.
You are dismissed.
Yeah. So good job, guys.
Oh.